Hi, I'm Wanhee, and if you're like me, you find it hard to resist hunger, you want to lose weight, but you just get hungry and raid the fridge for anything you can find. That's what I did until I learned how to hunger ride. It sounds crazy, but you can actually ride hunger waves, and this is what makes getting lean easy. It's practically a cheat code. So let me explain exactly how you can hunger ride your way to a lean body. I want you to imagine hunger like waves on a beach, and you're this guy, the surfer that's riding the waves. There are times of the day where the waves are strong and they crash over you and you're likely to fall off the surfing board, and there are times where the waves are little and manageable. It's all about having a good strategy and becoming a good surfer that can ride the waves and get lean. So let me take you throughout the day exactly how and when the waves tend to come and the strategies you can use to ride them so you don't fall off the board. Let's get into the first thing. Do you ever get hungry while you're sleeping? Nobody wants to eat while they're sleeping, because you're sleeping. There are no hunger waves. The hormones that actually trigger your hunger, ghrelin, it goes down, so you won't feel hungry. If you sleep a long time, that means you're fasting a longer time. That means you're not hungry for a longer part of the day. That's already a good strategy. Not to mention your fat mobilization improves while you sleep. Your testosterone improves while you sleep, which helps you build muscle. Your motivation improves because your dopamine recharges. Your muscle grows. All these things that we already know. So sleep is what you do from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. No hunger waves. When you first wake up, most people don't actually feel hungry. A lot of people do intermittent fasting where they skip breakfast, not because they knew anything about intermittent fasting, but because they just don't feel hungry around that breakfast time, and they have to get ready and go to work, get ready and go to school or do whatever, and they just don't feel that hungry, so they just go on water and coffee. That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I recommend, because the hunger waves in the morning are very, very shallow. You actually want to start with just hydrating yourself. Just drink some water, and when the first hunger waves come, that's when you have the coffee, and that's what's gonna dull the first little wave of hunger that's not that big, just sleeping all night. Now, the actual scientific reason why you want to push caffeine later on is because of the relationship between adenosine and caffeine. Adenosine is like the sleepiness hormone. It's the hormone that makes you feel sleepy and drowsy. That naturally goes down while you sleep. But when you wake up, it's not fully down. That's why when you wake up, you feel kind of drowsy and sleepy. And you want to naturally get out of that with the natural waking up process of your cortisol going up, you being a little bit more alert. That's what you want. But what caffeine does is it intercepts the process and just artificially blocks adenosine. It just blocks sleepiness like that. So what does that mean? There's this residue of sleepiness. Caffeine just blocks it. So after you've had the caffeine, you can actually get hit with adenosine again and feel like this post-coffee crash and feel sleepy. To stop that, naturally let adenosine fall to zero and then have your coffee when the caffeine hits. Let's say you did that, and that's gonna kind of take you up to that 10 a.m., 11 a.m. time. And this is when another little hunger wave might come, all right? You might want to have a cookie or something like that. And it's at this time that I personally like to train. At this point, I haven't eaten anything. Training and actually doing something of high focus, whether that's weightlifting, whether that's sports, whether that's some kind of deep work that you do, is actually a way where you can push hunger, because when you focus, you don't actually get hungry. You get hungry after that. So a lot of the time, if you're idle and not exerting like mental and physical focus on something, your brain will turn to, I need some dopamine. I need something to occupy the mind. The easiest thing is going to be food. If you are not in a position where you can go train at 11, then I would say do some kind of focused deep work in this period, and again leverage caffeine to kind of ride this wave until you get to the real big first hunger wave. I would even call this a medium wave because it's not the biggest wave, and that usually comes around lunchtime, 12 p.m., 1 p.m. For most people, this is when the hunger is going to hit, when ghrelin hits, because that's when mostly we have lunch anyway. And this is the time where you do actually eat. You have a lunch. But what do you eat? How do you ride that wave in a way that's going to help you get lean? Now, the whole point of getting lean is that you want to stay in a caloric deficit at the end of the day. What that means is if you maintain your current body weight at a certain amount, let's say 2,500 calories, you want to eat below that so that you can get leaner. 2,200 would be my recommendation, not something huge like 1900 and then you feel super hungry that you bounce back. Now, if you eat loads at lunch, you're gonna find that you ate too many calories throughout the day because you had 1500 calories at lunch. Then at dinner, you're gonna have quite a lot because that's, as we'll get onto, the biggest hunger wave. Then there's chances of things going wrong, friends asking you for a beer and stuff like that. So my whole strategy of riding this midday hunger wave is by eating more protein and fat dominant meals. You could even keep the fat low, just focus on getting high protein meals and keep the carbohydrates on the DL. Don't be having huge amounts of snacks and chocolate bars and sugars, because that's what's going to spike your insulin, it's going to spike your blood sugar, it's going to make you crave more and more sugar, and it's going to block your leptin signaling to the brain. Leptin's the satiety hormone. You're going to feel like you can keep having those biscuits. And again, this is how people go into these sugar loops. So you have caffeine loops going, sugar loops going, and that's not what we want, right? So for lunch, for the midday kind of medium hunger wave, have a high protein meal. You might be asking, what is a high protein dish? If you have 10% of your calories as protein, this is good. If it's 5%, that's average. If it's below 5%, we could bump those numbers up.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
So let's say you have a 500 calorie lunch. If you have 50 grams of protein with that, 10%, bravo. I couldn't wish for more. That's pretty damn good. If it's 5%, 25 grams, I'd say that's pretty average. Could do better. If it's below 25, come on now. Okay, why are you even watching this? Come on, let's pick those numbers up. So that's a high protein meal, and that's how you ride that midday wave, which is the second biggest wave of the day. Then you're usually not hungry until the afternoon, right? And it might be 4 p.m., 5 p.m., somewhere around that time where you're gonna feel a little peckish, right? You're gonna feel like, you know, the English feel they need a little bit of tea, a little bit of biscuits, a little bit of cheeky snacks on the side. That's when the afternoon snacks come in and sometimes hijack you. This could be for a multitude of reasons. It could just be a product of habit. You've constantly done that in your office or at your house. Your body's just waiting for food at that moment. This is why if you have ice cream after dinner every day, you're gonna want something sugary after dinner every day. And if you spend long periods where you didn't do that, you're gonna feel no need to do that. And a lot of people feel this kind of post-lunch crash. First of all, it's not the end of the world. If you have a cookie, if you have something, don't feel guilty. Usually a lot of these snacks, if you just have one or two, they don't actually have a huge amount of calories, unless you're going for these crazy huge cheesecakes, which I don't recommend. What I love to do when I'm trying to get lean, and this works amazingly well, is substitute those snacks for just healthier, higher protein snacks. When you feel hungry, when you feel this rush, usually protein and fats are what's going to satiate you, and when you're just craving sugar, it's not actually hunger you're feeling. You're just trying to run away from some kind of stress. You just want a bit of dopamine. So even if you have that dopamine kind of hunger, you can kind of substitute it, and instead of having the chocolate snack, have a boiled egg. Boiled egg, poached egg, very, very powerful in pushing hunger. It's super nutritious, super healthy. You can also have beef jerky or hamon, my new favorite snack. Has tons of protein, tons of fat. You want to maybe have coffee if you're somebody that can have coffee after lunch and still sleep at night. Coffee again is a good way to suppress hunger. And then if not, use these healthy snack options. And then we get to the biggest wave of the day, which is the wave of dinner. This usually comes around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. How do you ride this wave? You've hunger ridden very, very well until dinner. So now you actually go for the big ride. You actually have a big portion of steak and even rice, really satisfy that desire for food that you have and match the wave that comes of hunger with the amount of food. I'm not saying go binge eat and overeat, but this is the time where you can kind of indulge, kind of reward yourself for having ridden hunger so efficiently and so professionally throughout the day. Even at this meal, it's very good to have, high protein, high fats, and keep carbs low if you're trying to get lean. But oftentimes for this last meal, I'm having big portions of carbs and I'm still able to get lean by staying in a calorie deficit because my lunch was only around 600 to 800 or 600 to even 1,000 calories. That means for dinner, I can have 1,000, 1,500 calories worth of food and still be in that 2,000 to 2,300 calorie range, which is going to keep me in a deficit to get lean. And this is how I recommend you guys do it. If you're a dude, your deficit will be somewhere around 2,000 to 2,300. For most guys, obviously check it yourself. And for most women, your sweet spot will be around 1,500 to 1,700 calories. If you could just structure it, have maybe 500 in that lunch break and then 1,000 at dinner. Or, again, you could have the snack in between. You could have a little snack in the morning, even if that's what you want. Just make sure you stay in that range, because ultimately that is what is going to get you lean, the staying in the deficit. Of course, the wave doesn't end here. Even after the big wave, you get a bunch of little waves. And that is from the post-dinner desire for snacks. Now, if you've actually stayed disciplined throughout the whole process and even at dinner kept protein high, carbs relatively low, oftentimes what you'll find is you still have some calories left and you can still stay in a deficit, which means after dinner when you're watching a movie or just chilling out and again you feel like, damn, I want a little bit of ice cream, you can have a bit of ice cream. I had a bit of ice cream before recording this. It's literally 10 p.m. right now. Nobody died as a result. You know, I'm still feeling good. I don't feel any guilt. And this is what you can do. You can ride even this evening desire for snacks with just satisfying it. That is, of course, another way to ride the hunger wave. Not always to reject it. You can skillfully, artfully dodge and ride the waves. And you can also satisfy the waves and really just eat what you want at certain points. That might mean having an ice cream after dinner. You don't have to do this. I recommend most people don't make a habit of doing this, but I'm just showing you this is another way to actually ride that wave. All right, so that's what I want to pass on to you. That's kind of how I structure my day. And then I'd sleep around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. and the hunger disappears. The wave goes to a standstill because you've eaten and you're sleeping. And then the morning comes and the cycle repeats, and it's always this process of these wave after waves of hunger. And the better you get at recognizing the size of the waves and how to navigate through it so you stay in a deficit throughout the day, that's what's going to help you get lean. And once you nail this, this is truly the skill set that's going to make lean feel like a cheat code, because you just know how to push hunger, how to ride and satisfy the hunger waves without giving in, without just indulging and overeating all the time, which is what throws a lot of people off. They feel a medium wave and they just eat a truckload. There's a tiny little wave and they have a load of sugar. Don't be doing that. When there's a tiny wave, when it's a fake wave, when it's a little fake sugar rush, learn how to ride that by just giving it like a boiled egg. Give your hunger, satisfy the hunger demon inside your belly with a cheeky little thing, like a little snack, a hamon, a boiled egg, whatever it is, or even, as I just said, an ice cream or something like that if it's at the end of the day, and just learn how to push and ride the waves. And that's how you can get lean in a way that is very, very smart. Now, if you want to set up this entire diet system so you know exactly how to ride the hunger waves, however they show up for you, to find a system that fits your life, that is sustainable, so you can actually get lean and look good 365 days of the year, then you can hit the link below to join my coaching program. If you want my training system that actually shows you how to train in the gym to build an aesthetic body, you can grab Aesthetic Body Blueprint. Choose whichever one you want, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.